What's up, people?
Wait, we're starting? Where am I? Alright, go ahead. Send it.
Sending it. Now I don't know what I'm doing for my intro. Yo. We got Dave Hassa here, Josh Barnum, for the Nosebleeds show. Had a wild weekend, the NCAA. So that's what we're going to talk about. Because really, that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. Because everything else is just...
USA won the Paralympics, the sled team. Gold.
They did win gold. Did you see that? They scored with like 3 minutes left, and then they scored in overtime.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Incredible.
That was actually really cool. I love watching the highlights of that.
I don't know how they do it.
Dude, they're moving.
It's like knee hockey.
It is like knee hockey.
It's awesome.
It really is. Yeah. USA won Paralympic gold. Besides that, we got March Madness. We got my bracket here. Actually,
Madness.
This is the correct bracket because my bracket is shot.
Yeah. Your bracket's all kinds of crossed out.
No, it's very, very crossed out. Davidson almost did upset Kentucky, though. They didn't, but they almost did.
So, and we called Marshall beating Wichita State like we all knew that was going to happen because Wichita State is beatable.
I did have some surprise picks that was right, like Loyola. I had Loyola, except I had them losing. I did not.
They're still going.
Yeah,
they're still going.
They're in the Sweet 16. Not a lot of teams are. Only 16 of them.
Yeah, but let's fast forward, okay? Let's fast forward. They play Nevada, good team.
Nevada is a good team,
but beatable.
Yes, I didn't think they were going to make the Sweet 16 either.
You want to know a fun fact? Loyola only allowed 62 points in both games.
Combined?
No, both games. 62 and 62.
I was going to say, I mean, that's impressive. You know who's more impressive defensively? Syracuse Orange, baby.
I was one of the people that said there was no chance they make it in the tournament. The resume was shit from the beginning, right? Their resume was terrible. They were barely squeaking by bad teams. They got beat by St. Bonaventure, who did make it to the tournament. A little shaky, but listen. They shut down Michigan State.
Arizona State, too.
Arizona State, Michigan State, TCU. Nobody's had an answer for that defense yet.
It's going to be interesting to see them play Duke because Duke's got some really big bodies.
I think the thing about Duke is that they're such a well-coached team, and they're also a good jump shooting team. So it's a very scary matchup. And these two guys both have combined like 2,500 wins.
Yes,
like they both know each other. This isn't like a sneaky secret matchup that you come in and they don't. I'm not saying Tom Izzo didn't know him, Jamie Dixon knew him, but these guys have been around the game for so long. They know each other. They know the styles. They know what it takes to beat each other.
Especially since Syracuse has been in the ACC now.
Yeah.
Like, I would say if Syracuse was still in the Big East and they don't play each other twice during the year, it's a toss-up more so. But now, I don't know. I'm not confident in Syracuse. But then again, I wasn't confident in Syracuse beating...
From the jump.
Right. From the jump.
It's not a secret formula. They play good defense and they make shots when they need to.
Yeah.
That's a terrible offensive team. Like, god-awful offensive team. But when you hold a team to 30% shooting, you could say 29 rebounds on the offensive glass all you want. That just means they miss more shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. That team is just, it's terrible to watch because it's like missing on both sides, but it's just like, this is why they put them in the tournament, because they're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I totally put my foot in my mouth, too, last week, saying Buffalo was garbage. Because Buffalo came out
Ballers.
Huge win.
Big body
Kept
ballers.
with Kentucky. Now, I know they lost by 20, but they kept with them. They made that game interesting.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, they did win one, but...
Yeah, they beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona's a good ball club.
Yeah, they have some injuries, so I think it was a little bit of a depleted front, but still.
It doesn't help when your best player, too, right after the game, 30 seconds after the game, he's like, I'm going to the NBA. That just tells me you're not even focused on the game.
I mean, payday, come on.
Everybody wants that payday.
Payday. I mean, I would want to, if I'm a college basketball prospect.
They're all getting paid anyway, apparently.
I mean, they should be, but that's just an argument waiting to happen.
Some other surprising wins. Florida State moving to the Sweet 16.
I called that one.
They beat Xavier.
I called that one too.
I mean, if I was going to pick a 16 seed to beat a 1 seed, it was not going to be the Virginia game. It was going to be the Xavier game. But
they could. I'm a firm believer that they could play 100 times. That's the one time they beat them.
Who's that? UMBC or whatever?
Absolutely. I mean, what'd they lose by last game?
Like 5 to Kansas State?
So it's not a bad team. They lost by 7, but it's not a bad team. It's just Virginia just got. That's what I was talking about. They didn't have any of those games where they had to get up to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you play Virginia, when you play Arizona, when you play UNC, when you play Duke, when you play those top-notch programs, like you're ready. We're studying film, we're going into the game, we're going to bust it out.
That's who Virginia played all year.
Yeah, but when they went UMBC, they're man, fuck these guys. We can beat them on any day of the week. That's the problem. You can't beat them any day of the week because the only time you had to beat them, you lost. Like they could play tomorrow, beat them by 30. Nobody would care because they lost in the tournament.
Yeah.
Schedule that game next year and see what happens.
Out of conference game?
It's going to be a bomb fest. They're going to get destroyed. Bring them to Virginia. Let them whoop their ass. Just for a bad taste.
Virginia would travel to Maryland and beat them.
What do they got? 13,000 seats in that stadium? I mean, Duke only has 10, but let's be real.
Gotta go with favorites now. Now of who's left. I'm still sticking with my pick to win it all, Villanova.
They look good. That is an offensive juggernaut.
I'm still sticking with Villanova, but if they have to play Purdue in the Elite Eight, and then if they have to play Duke in the Final Four, that's a hard road.
I don't think Purdue's as scary without Haas.
Yeah, I mean, do we know how long he's injured for, though?
He's done. Broken elbow. He's done.
He broke it?
He fractured elbow.
Ooh.
So he's not playing, but they got a backup 7-footer. Well, must be nice.
I mean, it's still a hard road. They're going to play their asses off, especially knowing that they don't have everybody, you know.
They play Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is good, too. I picked them to go to the Sweet 16.
That's a scary team.
I mean, they also played Stephen F. Austin.
Right now, with the exception of Duke Syracuse, because I don't think that's really. I mean, I'm up for that game just because
it's
my
Syracuse.
Team, right? But outside of that, they're all 5-point differentials on Vegas. Syracuse is 12.
Yeah, Syracuse is 11.5.
Yeah, so every other game's within 5 points. I mean, there's good matchups besides Syracuse and Duke. Everyone else is pretty tightly matched. I mean, I think West Virginia is getting a little bit too much credit of 5.5 against Villanova. Kentucky's a 6.5 against Kansas State, and that's pretty much it.
I disagree with you with West Virginia. I think they're a really good basketball team, and I think they've been underrated all year.
They're gonna get bombed.
I mean, I'm picking Villanova to win it all.
That's a 15-point game in my eyes.
But 15-point game.
Put it down. In the books, 15-point game. They double that.
Kentucky, Kansas State, who knows? I mean, Kansas State didn't look... I mean, they looked good, but they were playing, again, UMBC, a 16 seed. Who's surprised? I think Kentucky runs away with that game. Because Kentucky's big men are going to overpower Kansas State. Don't tell them I said that, though, because I'm getting jumped in the back alley.
I mean, the problem with Kentucky's are so young, but...
They always are, though, and their coaching is awesome.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like they're so young, and he uses as an excuse every single game. If you watch the halftime, it's like, these are freshmen. Like, no shit, you've been rolling freshmen out for 12 years. We know they're freshmen. They're always going to be freshmen. It's like Duke. They're rolling out all freshmen besides Grayson Allen. They're all freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, Duke's good, man.
If they don't make shots, it's going to be the same thing Michigan State.
Yo, Michigan. That game was a barn burner. Michigan, Houston? That dude for Houston put up 40 in their first game. And then Michigan wins on a three-pointer at the end. The dude does a scissor kick, nails it.
Yeah, Poole. Apparently he hit that same shot in high school to win.
Win their states?
Yeah. Same exact shot.
That was exciting.
With the same leg kick and everything.
I mean, so what? Villanova. That's what I gotta say, and that's it. And I'm probably gonna eat my words on that one too. But that's just because March Madness is freaking crazy. My bracket should be
Villanova, Kansas, Duke, pretty much all that's left. Kentucky.
Kentucky's there. Gonzaga's still in it.
I'm just not sold.
They're underrated. Flying under the radar. Gonzaga always flies under the radar.
The Gonzaga is not flying under the radar. They're going to get beat by Florida State.
Okay, whatever. I guess I don't even really care, is the thing.
I don't either. I mean, I went into last week like, okay, but if my bracket would have turned out the way like
I had it,
it would have been the most boring week of basketball ever. Like, I have this problem where I either go heavy upsets or I go heavy favorites. And this year I went heavy favorites, and I look foolish. But, I mean, like we said, all those guys that make tons of money analyzing these games in and out.
They're all wrong.
All were wrong. Michigan State's going to win. Virginia, Arizona, they're all wrong. They lost.
I know, and it's hilarious that they're just like, all right, well, this week I'm just going to change picks because I was wrong last week, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, we could all do the same thing. It's just...
That's exactly what we're doing.
But that's what you got to do, because then it doesn't make it interesting. You got to make it interesting.
I mean, it was interesting. That's for damn sure.
I'll be shocked if Villanova doesn't win the championship. Let's just say that.
Yeah, who knows? The way this year's going, West Virginia's going to beat them.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. I hope not, because then I'm out of my pool. That's for sure.
I'm out already. I mean, one of them I have Kentucky playing Duke in the championship, so I'm alive there.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I had Arizona, I had Virginia. Probably why they both got bounced in the first round.
Because you took them.
But that's what happens. You just don't know. Like, we all say, like, oh, this team shouldn't be a 16, this team shouldn't be a 1, this team shouldn't be... Like, we thought UNC had a cupcake schedule. They got whopped.
Burnt. That was bad.
They got whopped.
I was happy.
They
I was
looked
laughing.
terrible. And then I'm like, going into the second half, I'm like, all right, he's got to pull these guys together. Something's got to give. Come back out in the second half, laid another egg.
Half those guys are champions, too. They won it last year. I don't know. It was fun to watch. It was cool. Crumple on my bracket, throw it in the fire bin, burn it up, whatever.
Rip it in half.
Look on to next year and do maybe a little more studying, or less studying maybe.
Less studying.
Less studying.
Much less. We should actually just pick names out of a hat, and then that would be more exciting.
Yeah. Even the 1-16 seeds at this point, just pick them out of a hat.
Yeah.
Put 2 in for each 1 seed and then 1 in for the 16 seed and just yank it. But
something's got to give. It's every year. Every year this happens, and every year we go back and say, oh, we should have done that. No, that's how it should be.
Whatever. On to bigger and better things. NHL's getting closer to playoffs. NBA's getting close to the playoffs. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Toronto losing this past weekend. Don't need to.
Writing's on the wall.
Oh, my God. I don't even want to have this conversation again with you. We'll wait until the playoffs.
Writing is on the wall.
Wait until the playoffs. I mean, they lost to a hot OKC team.
Yeah. And they can't beat anybody.
What are you talking about? They're like...
When
they're
OKC
on a roll.
plays real teams, they lose. Houston works them. OKC, before the injury bug struck, works them.
Golden State, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Golden State. Injury bug.
I'm nervous for
Watch
Golden
out.
State.
They should just cancel the rest of their games so they can get healthy.
Just sit there.
Just don't get hurt.
I mean, that's what Steve Kerr said, too. He's like, it might be a good thing, you know. He was looking a little gassed about Klay Thompson. He's looking a little gassed. It might be good for him to take some time off. What? All right.
Terrible. I would be so upset if I mean, we all know that Golden State should win the championship, but if they keep getting hurt at this rate, they might not even have 5 guys to roll out in the championship. Terrible. Fucking terrible.
That'll be fun to watch, though. NHL, can't wait.
Yeah, that's mixing up to be something good.
Vegas, baby.
Listen, we talk about the Super Bowl like it's the Mecca, but NCAA and in college, or not college,
NHL
playoffs are probably some of the most exciting.
Yes.
Like 8 beat 1 all the time. Like there's no, like in NFL, like the 1 seeds like march to the end and we're like talking about it, and the Super Bowl's big, but like.
And you get some upsets here and there. You get some wild cards.
Yeah, but both
the wild
number
cards
1 teams won to the Super Bowl. Like there was nothing.
Right, and when the wild card does it, it's like Pittsburgh.
Yeah. It's like they lost 3 games because somebody was hurt, and
Yeah.
then they got a bad seed. But like the NHL, like if you're an 8 seed, like you have a
You got a good
legitimate
shot.
chance to win. Like
You just got to get in. Unless you're Colorado this year, I don't think they have a shot to win anything.
I'm gonna keep my mouth out of that one. It's just bad news. I mean, they got Vegas in round 1 right now, so that's already a tough draw.
Yeah.
The Vegas, man, they get healthy, it's terrible.
Dude, the West is going to be fun. The East is going to be fun to watch, even though Montreal or the Sabres aren't in it. So,
The
whatever.
Sabres eliminated themselves on Saturday from the playoffs.
They eliminated themselves.
Well, no, they won, but they still got eliminated. They needed one team to lose like 13 games in a row. I mean, let's be realistic here. They were destined for bad things.
Either way, we're just sitting up in the nosebleeds, shooting shit about
Everything.
all this garbage. Toss my bracket away, move on to bigger and better things.
Syracuse, Friday night. Let's go, baby.
I hope they win.
They're going to win. They're not going to win. I can't even get excited for it.
Josh Barnum, Dave Hassett. I probably won't even watch the Syracuse game because it'll be nerve-wracking.
He'll be watching the
I'll watch
Raptors lose.
Again, you got to get the last word in every time. I'm done with this.